Welcome back. So not only grabbing the text, you can also click on any element in your web page using JavaScript instead of Selenium click. Now for example, I want to click on this shop button. Okay. And I have href attribute. So I will build CSS out of it. Driver dot find element by CSS selector. You can use either crowpath plugin or console to actually get it. I'm using regular expression. I'm not going to give complete href attribute, one element matching. Right. So now I will carefully put this into one variable like shop button. So just assume that somehow the click is not happening when you use dot click using Selenium. Due to various reasons, it's not able to click. There are some instances where if your shop is hidden by another pop-up which is coming top over this, then Selenium will not be able to click it, because for Selenium to click it, it should be visible clearly. It's visible, but let's say there is one more link on top. When you try to hover on that, menu will open. That menu is hiding it. Assume that. If that is the case, when Selenium tries to click it, as there is one more menu top over it, it will say that element non-clickable and other element would receive click. This is one of the common error you get if it is not in visible mode or clickable mode. If that is the case, you can use JavaScript executor, and JavaScript executor directly works on the HTML level and it will click on that instead of depending upon your front end view. Okay, that's more important. Alright, so you grabbed the object, but now we will click that using JavaScript executor. Again, driver dot execute script. It takes two parameters. First parameter, for now just leave it blank, and second parameter you just pass the locator what you want to target. Okay. Now in the first parameter, say arguments. So basically what all arguments you define, all will be stored in this first variable called arguments. If you define three variables, then three arguments will get stored here. Now to access each and every argument, you will go with index. When you say 0, then shop button will be accessed. Then if you write one more locator here xyz, and if you want to access that, then arguments of 1 you have to write. Okay. So now when you say arguments of 0, by default shop button is the only argument left, and this find elements as a selector now will be accessible here. On this part, you can actually say dot click and make sure you wrap that in double quotes, semicolon also. Perfect. Now what you have done, you just took that locator, but the click whatever you are giving belongs to JavaScript DOM but not on Selenium. So that's why we've wrapped that in double quotes quote, or you can use single quote as well, just like this. Doesn't matter, double quote or single quote. But this click method belongs to JavaScript executor. Now when you run this test, you have not used any Selenium dot click, right? But it will still work and it clicks on that shop button, but this time using JavaScript executor by firing on HTML event. Okay, let's see. We generally don't use this JavaScript executors heavily in our application. We rarely use it, and we use it when we think that our all Selenium stuff, whatever we are using, is not working. Then only we will at the end goes to this point. Alright, so what happened? Did it click on it? Sorry, I did not see that. Yeah, it clicked. It actually reached second page, shop button. You see that? So this is home page, and then it clicked on shop page to reach this page. Awesome. You have done that without touching any Selenium dot click. So as I said, keep this knowledge handy on how to click and how to get text using JS, and whenever you think Selenium is not able to do that, just use these techniques and it will work. Now, one more thing. When you are on the shop page, you want to scroll down to the bottom. Selenium do not support scrolling down. It's out of its capabilities. But JavaScript knows how to scroll down. Okay, here it's not down, it's just JavaScript. So this execute script method will execute any JavaScript, either it could be DOM or core JavaScript. Basically, we have a power of executing JavaScript. But using JavaScript, there is a way to scroll down the browser. Generally, if you are a developer, you might be knowing this. But as a tester, when you are working with Selenium, you don't have a feature to scroll down. Now, for example, you want to click somewhere here. If it is not in visible mode, Selenium may return failure that it's not in visible mode. So to make it visible, you have to scroll down. But scrolling is not supported by Selenium. Again, in that case as well, we will rely on JavaScript and use execute script method to actually perform that scrolling operation. So like this, whenever we think it's required, then you can use them as a handy. But in general, we won't use it regularly until unless if you strongly think that it's required. So how to scroll down using JavaScript? Just Google it. Okay, for this specific topic, you need not learn everything about JavaScript. There are a lot of resources available online showing how to scroll down using JavaScript, and that will help you. Scroll down JavaScript. You see that Windows scroll by, scroll to, these are different methods. If you go to W3 schools, they will explain how to scroll your browser window using JavaScript, and then you can simply use it. Alright, so I will just use that window.scroll to, that's it. Okay. Window.scroll to. So from top, let's scroll from top to bottom. If you want to know the height of your browser, now it starts from here. When you ask height, it will point till this bottom. Okay. So there is a way to get complete scroll height, and that also using document dot body dot scroll height. So basically we are saying that scroll from the beginning to end. That's it. That's what I am saying here, nothing different. Alright, so make sure you put semicolon as well, because that's treated as a complete step. Okay, in general, scroll to method takes 2 arguments. So from what point to what point you need to scroll, you have to mention. So this is like horizontal scroll. That's why it started with more number. We are doing vertical scroll here, starting to end. So it starts from 0 to bottom. And this is a JavaScript again. As I said, you don't need to remember this. Just Google, you will find all this information. Only thing you need to know is just put this in execute script method, and that will execute. Okay, you see that it have successfully scrolled to bottom, and this is how you can scroll in Selenium. And this is one of the famous interview question, like how to scroll in Selenium. You should smartly answer that Selenium by default do not have the ability to scroll, so we rely on JavaScript executor and use JavaScript methods to actually do that. If you don't tell that and say Selenium have a method but I don't remember, then you are gone. Because the common answer what people say is, yes, there are ways to do using Selenium, but I don't remember right now. Okay, there itself people will understand that you don't have depth concept. Alright guys, so that's pretty much about JavaScript executor. I have shown how to do various operations, and you will not do more than this. So keep them handy, and see you in the next lecture with one more topic. Thank you.